Most people don't pay much attention to their internal dialogue. They let any thought, positive or negative, take up residence in their mind. They become landlords who don't screen their tenants. And before long, they've got troublemakers living rent-free in their head. But what if I told you that by deliberately choosing how you talk to yourself for just 21 days, you could set in motion changes so profound that your life a year from now would be unrecognizable? Would that be worth your time? I think it would. The power of self-talk. Let me ask you something. Who do you spend the most time with? Your spouse, your children, your colleagues? No, the person you spend the most time with, the person who has the most influence over you, is yourself. You're with yourself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And the conversations you have with yourself will either lift you up or tear you down. Isn't that remarkable? The most influential voice in your life is your own. You see, most people are walking around sabotaging themselves all day long. I'm not good enough. I'll never figure this out. Why does this always happen to me? I'm too old. I'm too young. I don't have the education. I don't have the connections. And then they wonder why life isn't working out for them. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you talk to your friends the way you talk to yourself, you'd have no friends left. But here's the good news. Just as negative self-talk can tear you down, positive self-talk can build you up. And it doesn't take years to see the effects. Just 21 days of deliberate, conscious, empowering self-talk can create new neural pathways in your brain, new habits in your life, and new results in your world. Why 21 days? Well, research suggests that's about how long it takes to form a new habit. Now, some habits might take longer, some might take less time, but 21 days gives us a reasonable time frame to work with. It's long enough to see results, but short enough not to be overwhelming. The foundation, gratitude and possibility. So let's talk about how to talk to yourself for these 21 days. And I want to start with the foundation, gratitude and possibility. Each morning, the first words out of your mouth should be, I am grateful, not I have to go to work. Not I'm so tired, not another Monday, but I am grateful. You see, gratitude is the antidote to fear, scarcity, and negativity. You cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time. You cannot be grateful and envious at the same time. You cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. So start your day by saying, I am grateful for this day. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for the opportunities before me. I am grateful for the challenges that will make me stronger. And then immediately follow with statements of possibility. Today anything is possible. Today I can make progress toward my goals. Today I can be a little bit better than I was yesterday. Do you see what we're doing here? We're setting the tone for the day. We're telling our subconscious mind what to focus on. And what you focus on expands. Affirm your worth. Next, I want you to affirm your intrinsic worth. Now, I'm not talking about empty self-esteem boosting here. I'm talking about acknowledging a fundamental truth. You have value simply because you exist. Say to yourself, I am worthy, I am enough. I don't need to prove my worth through achievement or possessions or the approval of others. My worth is inherent. You know, a lot of people are running around trying to prove their worth through external validation. They think if I just make enough money, if I just get that promotion, if I just lose those 20 pounds, I just get more likes on social media, then I'll be worthy. But that's backwards. Your achievements don't make you worthy. Your worthiness enables your achievements. When you truly know that you are worthy, you approach challenges differently. You're not afraid of failure because failure doesn't diminish your worth. You're not desperate for approval because your worth doesn't depend on others' opinions. You're free to take risks, to grow, to become all that you're capable of becoming. Embrace responsibility. Now, the next part of how you should talk to yourself might not sound as warm and fuzzy, but it's just as important. For 21 days, I want you to say to yourself, I am responsible. Not it's their fault. Not I'm a victim of circumstances. Not I can't because, but I am responsible for my life and my choices. You see, responsibility is not about blame. It's about power. When you say, I am responsible, you're saying, I have the power to respond, to make choices, to create change. Most people don't want responsibility because they think it means they're to blame for everything bad in their lives. But that's not it at all. Taking responsibility doesn't mean the bad things that happen to you are your fault. It means the healing and the growth and the future are in your hands. Say to yourself, I am responsible for my attitude. I am responsible for my actions. I am responsible for my growth. I am responsible for my happiness. When you embrace responsibility, you embrace your power. And that's when things start to change. Challenge your limits. For these 21 days, I want you to challenge the limitations you've placed on yourself. We all have these internal boundaries, these invisible lines we've drawn and said, this far and no further. Maybe you've told yourself, I'm not a math person, I'm not creative, I can't speak in public. I'm too old to start something new. I'll never earn more than $X. These are not facts, they're stories. Stories you've told yourself so many times that you've forgotten they're just stories. So for 21 days, I want you to question these limitations. When you catch yourself saying, I can't, ask, why not? Who says, is that really true, or is that just a story I've been telling myself? And then replace those limiting statements with expansive ones. I can learn, I can grow. I can try, I can improve, I am more capable than I've given myself credit for. You know, one of the most damaging phrases in the English language is I am, because whatever follows I am tends to become your reality. I am bad at math, I am shy, I am unlucky in love. Be very careful what you put after I am. For 21 days, make sure what follows I am empowers you rather than limits you. Set clear intentions. Each day of these 21 days, set clear intentions for who you want to be and what you want to accomplish. Not vague wishes, but clear, specific intentions. Today I will respond rather than react. Today I will take one step toward my goal of underscore, underscore, underscore. Today I will look for opportunities rather than obstacles. Today I will speak with kindness and listen with attention. You see, clarity is power. When you're clear about what you want and who you want to be, your subconscious mind goes to work making it happen. But if you're vague, your subconscious has nothing to work with. Think of your subconscious like a GPS. If you tell it, take me somewhere nice, it can't help you. But if you say, take me to 123 Success Street, it can plot a course and get you there. For 21 days, give your internal GPS clear coordinates. Be specific about your intentions. And watch as your life begins to align with those intentions. Embrace discipline. Now, let's talk about discipline. For 21 days, I want you to say to yourself, I choose discipline over regret. Most people avoid discipline because it's uncomfortable in the moment. They choose the momentary comfort of hitting the snooze button over the lasting satisfaction of getting up early and working on their goals. They choose the momentary pleasure of spending over the lasting security of saving and investing. They choose the momentary relief of avoiding difficult conversations over the lasting reward of honest relationships. But here's the truth. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. For 21 days, remind yourself that discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-love. Discipline is self-respect. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Say to yourself, I am disciplined. I do what needs to be done, whether I feel like it or not. I keep my promises to myself. I am creating a future I will be proud of. Focus on solutions, not problems. For these 21 days, train yourself to focus on solutions rather than problems. When faced with a challenge, instead of saying this is a disaster, say what's the opportunity here? What can I learn? How can I turn this around? You see, the quality of your life is directly proportional to the quality of your problems. Successful people don't have fewer problems, they have better problems. And the way to get better problems is to become a better problem solver. So talk to yourself like a problem solver. I am resourceful. I find a way. I don't complain about the wind, I adjust my sails. I don't wish it were easier, I make myself stronger. When you focus on solutions, you train your brain to see possibilities where others see only obstacles. And in a world full of complainers, problem solvers are incredibly valuable. Practice patience and persistence. During these 21 days, remind yourself daily of the power of patience and persistence. Say to yourself, I am patient with the process. I persist through challenges. I understand that meaningful change takes time. You know, we live in an instant gratification society. We want results yesterday. But the truth is, most worthwhile achievements take time. They require consistent effort over an extended period. Think about it. You can't plant a seed today and harvest tomorrow. You can't go to the gym once and expect to be fit. You can't make one sales call and build a business. The greatest achievements in history and business, in art, in science, in personal development, they all took time. They all required patience and persistence. So for 21 days, remind yourself that you're playing the long game. Say, I am building something that will last. I am willing to do today what others won't, so I can do tomorrow what others can't. I understand that small, consistent actions compound over time. Celebrate progress, not perfection. For these 21 days, I want you to change how you talk to yourself about success and failure. Instead of demanding perfection, celebrate progress. Say to yourself, I celebrate my progress. I acknowledge my growth. I recognize how far I've come, not just how far I have to go. You see, perfection is the enemy of progress. If you demand perfection from yourself, you'll always fall short. You'll always find something to criticize. And that criticism will drain your energy and dampen your enthusiasm. But when you celebrate progress, you build momentum. You fuel your motivation. You remind yourself that you're moving in the right direction, even if you haven't reached your destination yet. For 21 days, at the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do well today? What progress did I make? What did I learn? Focus on those wins, no matter how small they seem. And when you make mistakes, because you will make mistakes, don't beat yourself up. Instead, say, I learned from my mistakes. I use failure as feedback. I adjust my approach and keep moving forward. Cultivate compassion for yourself and others. During these 21 days, cultivate compassion in your internal dialogue. Say to yourself, I am compassionate with myself. I understand that I am human. I forgive my mistakes and learn from them. You know, many of us are much harder on ourselves than we are on others. We have this harsh inner critic that holds us to impossible standards and berates us when we fall short. But that kind of self-talk doesn't motivate, it paralyzes. It doesn't inspire growth, it triggers shame. And shame is never a catalyst for positive change. So for 21 days, practice speaking to yourself with the same compassion you would offer a good friend or a beloved child. When you make a mistake, instead of saying, I'm such an idiot, say, that didn't work out as planned. What can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? And extend that compassion to others as well. Say, I am understanding of others' struggles. I recognize that everyone is fighting their own battles. I choose to assume positive intent. When you cultivate compassion, you create a psychological space where growth can occur for yourself and for those around you. Align your self-talk with your values. For these 21 days, align your self-talk with your deepest values. Say to yourself, I live according to my values. I make choices that reflect what matters most to me. I am building a life of meaning and purpose. You see, when your self-talk is in alignment with your values, you experience integrity. And integrity isn't just about honesty, it's about wholeness. It's about being undivided, being the same person on the inside that you present on the outside. So identify your core values. Is it family, health, learning, creativity, service, excellence, adventure? Whatever your values are, make them explicit in your self-talk. If family is a core value, say, I prioritize my relationships. I am present with the people I love. I create memories that will last a lifetime. If health is a core value, say, I honor my body. I make choices that support my well-being. I invest in my long-term health. If learning is a core value, say, I am curious. I seek out new ideas. I challenge my assumptions. I grow through continuous learning. When your self-talk aligns with your values, you experience less internal conflict and more fulfillment. You make decisions more easily because you have clear criteria. Does this align with my values? Envision your future self. Throughout these 21 days, I want you to spend time talking to yourself about your future self. Not in a vague, wishful thinking way, but in a specific, intentional way. Say to yourself, I am becoming the person I want to be. I am developing the habits, skills, and mindset that will create my desired future. You see, your future self is created by your present actions, and our present actions are driven by your present thoughts. So if you want to create a specific future, you need to think specific thoughts now. Envision your future self in detail. How does this person think? How do they speak? How do they carry themselves? What habits do they have? What skills have they developed? What have they accomplished? Then talk to yourself as if you are already becoming that person. I am developing financial intelligence. I am building meaningful relationships. I am contributing my talents to worthy causes. I am taking care of my health. I am pursuing mastery in my field. This isn't pretending or fantasizing. This is strategic self-talk that bridges the gap between who you are now and who you want to become. Practice mindfulness in your self-talk. For these 21 days, practice mindfulness in your self-talk. Say to yourself, I am aware of my thoughts. I am conscious of my internal dialogue. I choose my thoughts deliberately rather than thinking on autopilot. You know, most people are not conscious of their self-talk. Thoughts arise and they automatically believe them, react to them, and let them determine their emotions and actions. But during these 21 days, I want you to create a gap between the thought and your response to it. Notice your thoughts, question them, evaluate them. Is this thought helpful? Is it true? Does it serve my goals and values? If it's not helpful, not true, or doesn't serve your goals and values, let it go and replace it with a thought that is helpful, is true, and does serve your goals and values. This mindful approach to self-talk gives you power over your mental environment. Instead of being at the mercy of whatever thoughts happen to arise, you become the curator of your own mind. Express confidence in your abilities. Throughout these 21 days, express confidence in your abilities. Say to yourself, I am capable. I have strengths and talents. I can learn what I need to learn and do what I need to do. Now, this isn't about being arrogant or overestimating yourself. It's about accurately recognizing your capabilities and potential. Most people underestimate themselves. They focus on their weaknesses rather than their strengths. They remember their failures more vividly than their successes. They discount their abilities and magnify their limitations. But for 21 days, I want you to deliberately focus on your capabilities. Remind yourself of past successes. Acknowledge your strengths. Recognize your potential for growth. Say, I have overcome challenges before and I can do it again. I have resources, both internal and external. I am more capable than I sometimes give myself credit for. This kind of self-talk isn't about inflating your ego. It's about giving yourself an accurate assessment that includes your strengths as well as your areas for growth. Commit to continuous growth. For these 21 days, make a commitment to continuous growth in your self-talk. Say to yourself, I am committed to lifelong learning. I seek out opportunities to grow. I embrace challenges as chances to develop. You see, the most successful people are those who view themselves as works in progress. They don't believe they've arrived, they believe they're always arriving. They don't see themselves as finished products, they see themselves as evolving beings. So for 21 days, talk to yourself like someone who is committed to growth. I am curious about new ideas, I am open to feedback, I am willing to step outside my comfort zone. I am always looking for ways to improve. This kind of self-talk creates a mindset that embraces rather than resists change. And in a world that's changing faster than ever, that's a tremendous advantage. Live with intention and purpose. During these 21 days, fill your self-talk with intention and purpose. Say to yourself, I live with purpose. My life has meaning. What I do matters. I make a difference. You know, one of the deepest human needs is the need for meaning to feel that our lives count for something, that we're contributing in some way, that our presence in the world matters. When your self-talk is infused with purpose, you approach each day differently. You see your work not just as a job, but as a contribution. You see your relationships not just as connections, but as opportunities to love and serve. You see your challenges not just as problems, but as chances to grow and become more of who you're meant to be. For 21 days, remind yourself of the bigger picture. I am here for a reason. My life has purpose. I have gifts to offer. I can make a positive difference. This kind of self-talk elevates your daily experience from mere existence to meaningful living. Transform your relationship with money. For these 21 days, transform how you talk to yourself about money. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, say, how can I afford it? Instead of saying, money is scarce, say, money is a tool that flows through my life. You see, your relationship with money is largely determined by how you think and talk about it. If your internal dialogue about money is dominated by fear, scarcity, and limitation, you'll make financial decisions from that place. You'll focus on protecting what you have rather than creating more. But if your internal dialogue about money is characterized by possibility, abundance, and intention, you'll approach your finances differently. You'll look for opportunities. You'll take calculated risks. You'll invest in your future. For 21 days, say to yourself, I am developing financial intelligence. I make thoughtful decisions about money. I create value that generates income. I manage my resources wisely. This kind of self-talk doesn't magically make you rich, but it does put you in a frame of mind where you can make better financial decisions and recognize opportunities that you might otherwise miss. Nurture your physical health. During these 21 days, use your self-talk to nurture your physical health. Say to yourself, I honor my body. I make choices that support my energy and vitality. I invest in my long-term health. You know, it's easy to take your health for granted until you don't have it anymore. But your physical well-being is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. Your career, your relationships, your ability to contribute and create, they all depend on your health. So for 21 days, talk to yourself like someone who values their health. I nourish my body with wholesome food. I move my body regularly. I give myself adequate rest. I manage stress in healthy ways. This kind of self-talk supports making choices that enhance rather than diminish your vitality. And with greater vitality comes greater capacity to pursue your goals and live your values. Strengthen your relationships. For these 21 days, use your self-talk to strengthen your relationships. Say to yourself, I am present with the people in my life. I listen with attention. I speak with kindness. I show appreciation. You see, the quality of your life is largely determined by the quality of your relationships. And the quality of your relationships is largely determined by how you show up in them. So for 21 days, talk to yourself like someone who values deep, meaningful connections. I make time for the people who matter to me. I approach relationships with generosity rather than keeping score. I communicate openly and honestly. I take responsibility for my part in conflicts. This kind of self-talk helps you be more intentional in your interactions, more present in your conversations, and more committed to nurturing the relationships that matter most to you. Manage your emotions. During these 21 days, use your self-talk to manage your emotions effectively. Say to yourself, I acknowledge my feelings without being controlled by them. I respond rather than react. I choose my emotional state. You know, emotional intelligence is one of the greatest predictors of success in life. And emotional intelligence begins with being aware of your emotions and taking responsibility for them. So for 21 days, talk to yourself like someone who is emotionally intelligent. I notice what I'm feeling. I understand why I'm feeling this way. I choose how to express my emotions. I regulate my emotional responses. This kind of self-talk gives you power over your emotional life. Instead of being at the mercy of every feeling that arises, you become the navigator of your emotional experience. Develop a growth mindset. For these 21 days, use your self-talk to develop a growth mindset. Say to yourself, I can develop any skill with practice. My abilities are not fixed, they can be cultivated. Challenges help me grow. You see, people with a fixed mindset believe their qualities are carved in stone. They have a certain amount of intelligence, a certain personality, a certain moral character, and these can't really be changed. But people with a growth mindset believe their basic qualities can be cultivated through effort. They believe that a person's true potential is unknown and unknowable, and that it's impossible to foresee what can be accomplished with years of passion, toil, and training. So for 21 days, talk to yourself like someone with a growth mindset. I embrace challenges. I persist in the face of obstacles. I see effort as the path to mastery. I learn from criticism. I find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. This kind of self-talk transforms how you approach learning, how you respond to setbacks, and how you view your own potential. Create momentum through small wins. Throughout these 21 days, use your self-talk to create momentum through small wins. Say to yourself, I focus on progress, not perfection. I celebrate small victories. I build momentum through consistent action. You know, most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. They set ambitious daily goals, fall short, get discouraged, and give up missing out on the incredible progress they could make through consistent small actions over time. But for 21 days, I want you to talk to yourself like someone who understands the power of small wins. I take one step at a time. I break big goals into manageable actions. I recognize that small, consistent efforts compound over time. I celebrate progress along the way. This kind of self-talk helps you maintain motivation over the long haul. Instead of getting discouraged by how far you have to go, you stay encouraged by acknowledging how far you've come. Embrace uncertainty. For these 21 days, use your self-talk to embrace uncertainty. Say to yourself, I am comfortable with not knowing all the answers. I am willing to experiment and learn. I trust in my ability to adapt. You know, in a rapidly changing world, the ability to navigate uncertainty is crucial. Yet many people let their fear of the unknown keep them stuck in familiar but unsatisfying circumstances. So for 21 days, talk to yourself like someone who embraces rather than fears uncertainty. I step into the unknown with courage. I am willing to try new approaches. I adapt to changing circumstances. In your internal dialogue, the positive, empowering self-talk will start to become more automatic, more natural. The old negative patterns will begin to lose their grip. Of course, the real magic happens when you continue past the 21 days. When this way of talking to yourself becomes not a temporary experiment, but a lifelong practice. Your challenge. So here's my challenge to you for the next 21 days. Commit to being conscious of how you talk to yourself. Monitor your internal dialogue. Catch the negative, limiting self-talk and replace it with positive, empowering self-talk. Write down the specific phrases and affirmations that resonate with you from what we've discussed today. Put them on note cards in your phone, on your mirror, wherever you'll see them regularly. Set reminders throughout the day to check in with yourself. How am I talking to myself right now? Is this self-talk serving me or limiting me? Share your commitment with someone who will support you and hold you accountable. Tell them, for the next 21 days, I'm working on how I talk to myself. Can I check in with you regularly to share my progress? And at the end of each day, reflect on your self-talk. Write down what you noticed, what challenges you faced, what improvements you observed. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. You won't transform your self-talk completely in 21 days. But you will make significant strides, or you will begin to create new neural pathways. You will start to change the habitual ways you think about yourself, your capabilities, and your circumstances. And that, my friends, is the beginning of transformation. Conclusion. Ladies and gentlemen, the way you talk to yourself matters more than most people realize. It shapes your perceptions, your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your life. For 21 days, talk to yourself with gratitude and possibility. Affirm your worth. Embrace responsibility. Challenge your limits. Set clear intentions. Choose discipline over regret. Focus on solutions, not problems. Practice patience and persistence. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Cultivate compassion. Align with your values. Envision your future self. Practice mindfulness. Express confidence in your abilities. Commit to continuous growth. Live with intention and purpose. Transform your relationship with money. Nurture your physical health. Strengthen your relationships. Manage your emotions. Develop a growth mindset. Create momentum through small wins. Embrace uncertainty. Nurture your spirit. Serve others. Be patient with the process. Do this for 21 days, and you will begin to change your life from the inside out. You know, I believe that each of us has far more potential than we realize. I believe that most people are living far below their capabilities, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they limit themselves through their own thinking. But you don't have to be most people. You can choose, starting today, to talk to yourself in a way that expands rather than contracts your possibilities. You can choose to use your internal dialogue as a tool for growth rather than a weapon of self-sabotage. The choice is yours, and it begins with how you talk to yourself for the next 21 days. Thank you.